And welcome, everybody. This is TCRS, the Coach Roges Show, brought to you, as always, by Swivel Vision Training Goggles, the only training goggles trusted by pro softball player Allison Owen, of course, former standout Mississippi State pitcher. Check Swivel Vision Goggles out at www.swivelvision.com. Also, we're brought to you, as always, by Softball Spirit Magazine, the greatest new softball magazine out there, geared exclusively towards future gen players and coaches. Check them out at www.softballspirit.us. Joining me right now for today's show, though, is the head coach of the San Diego State University Aztecs, Kathy Van Wyk. Coach, welcome to your first of hopefully many appearances here on TCRS.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Well, Coach, let's jump into this. Right now, you got to feel pretty good. Team is off to a great start, sitting at 7-2 overall. Just kind of sum up, if you would, briefly the first couple of weeks of the season and your overall thought on how your team is doing.
Well, we started off shakier than I would have liked on defense, and generally we pride ourselves on the fact that we have great pitching and great defense, and I think the defense sort of played nervous, played scared for their first weekend, but to be expected. And what was really nice was this past weekend, we came out and did a much better job. They settled down nicely, and everyone says it. Defense wins championships.
So I want to ask you this and get your thoughts. I think we heard it there in the intro. Possibly Karen Weekly was on the show a while back and said that she would rather have one great pitcher and 8 average players than 8 great players and an average pitcher. Your thoughts on that?
Oh, absolutely. I think we all know that this game is about pitching, and that's changing because we're seeing a lot more power in the game, and the game can change very quickly with one swing of the bat. But, your pitcher is the one who's going to keep you in it and give your team confidence, and she does so many things that the intangibles that you just can't teach. If you can find that one, I think that you can go a long way and try to manufacture runs. You try to teach them how to run bases, try to do all the little things, and that pitcher's gonna keep you in the game. So I would agree wholeheartedly.
So, Coach, want to run through some of the quality wins that your program has so far this year. 2 quality wins against Purdue, very good win against Idaho State, and then Oregon State. Well, what have you learned about your team to this point in the season that you did not know about your team coming into the season, or what's the biggest thing that has been reinforced that you did think about your team?
Well, I think that we reinforced the fact that we have a good hitting team. We knew that coming in, probably the best hitting team that this program has ever seen. And we showed that coming back from some situations this past weekend and so on. But what we didn't know and we learned about our team was that Erica Romero is going to take the bull by the horns and really enjoy getting the pitching time that she's getting this year. And she has done an outstanding job for us in the circle. She has pitched virtually every inning we've played. She's a workhorse. She works quickly. She keeps the team going in the games. She throws strikes, and that keeps everybody involved. She's not there striking a lot of people out. She uses her defense behind her. And what I'm the most impressed about with her is the poise that she's shown in tough situations. She's just done an outstanding job shutting down some very, very good offensive programs, including UCLA and Oregon State shut out this past weekend. And she did a good job against Texas A&M. So we're pleased with what she's been able to do for us, and hopefully we can just manage the staff and keep her going throughout the year.
With a young player like that, and I believe she is a sophomore currently, with a young player like that, how important is tournament time for especially a young player at that position?
Well, in the tournaments, you're obviously going to see the teams that, from so many different areas and from, top to bottom throughout the Division I. And, she's going to be tested this weekend against some of the, best teams in the country. And in a couple of weeks, we play the University of Florida, defending national champions. So, she's got her work cut out for her. But, yes, the tournaments are where she has to build up and gain that confidence that she needs going into conference play. Conference play, we go from a 5-game weekend to a 3-game weekend. So if we can keep her healthy throughout these 5-game weekends, then we get to conference. I think it's a light load after that. And, the confidence is the biggest issue for us right now because the 7-2 looks great, but we haven't played the best tournament schedule yet. It's coming up, and this is going to be the true test. So we'll see.
So, Coach, let's talk about it. I had a chance to break down some of the upcoming Mary Nutter Classic on this past Seminole Softball Monday with Lonnie Alameda, of course, head coach at FSU. When you look at your game, you've got Oklahoma, LSU, Nebraska, Kentucky, Stanford. Kind of go through each of those games really quick for us. What are you expecting out of each one of those teams, and how do you think you best have to attack each of those programs?
I really need to talk to the scheduler because I don't know how in the heck we got each of those teams. Four of the 5 College World Series teams from this past from this past year. So, it'll be interesting. We go out and we start out with Oklahoma, so you know what you're going to see, and they're certainly not going to back down. I think what our team needs to learn is if we get a lead, we can't stop. We've got to keep pushing, and because other teams don't, especially teams like that. And we've got to pour it on if we get the opportunity and take advantage of every offensive opportunity that we get. I'm not one to go look ahead and see they have this down the lineup. We're gathering scouting reports right now and putting together, what we're going to see, video, looking at other pictures and things like that. But it's very obvious. We have 4 teams right off the bat that went to College World Series last year. So we have a pretty good idea that we're going to have our work cut out for us. And I think today in practice we're going to, kick the machines up a little bit faster and make them move a little bit more and challenge them and shorten the swings because we can't have our hitters out there taking big swings, or good pitching will take advantage of that. And then it's just play the game the way you know how. If in some regards, we're fortunate to get to see these College World Series teams because we've got video on them. You've got, pictures from last year and an opportunity to see them and you know what you're going to see. But at the same time, in person under the lights, big stage, that's different. So hopefully we have the resolve, and the kids have been working hard, and they're very much looking forward to these tests this weekend.
Coach, let me ask you this about the last team that you'll face, Stanford. Obviously a big coaching staff change there for them with Rachel Hansen out there now. What do you think that she brings particularly well to a program like Stanford? We played Rachel's team last year at Dartmouth in regionals, and they're very scrappy. I think that she's probably bringing a lot of that youth and energy and excitement into their program, and the new face always does that. I don't know if they're going to have the Stanford of past, or if we're going to see a whole new group of players and type of style of ball. But that they'll be classy. That they'll play the game hard and respect the game. And I think Rachel proved herself by getting Dartmouth there last year and what she's done with that program. So it's going to be interesting to see. But at this point, we've tried to stay focused on our own game and make sure that we're doing the things that we know how to do well. Coach, after the Mary Nutter Classic, you'll head back to San Diego for the first of two San Diego Classics. Some good teams coming in there as well. St. John's, Cal Poly, obviously Iowa State's coming in, and then Oregon and Florida. When you look at this, first of all, talk about the importance of being able to host your own, tournaments. I know you guys have already hosted one as well at the very beginning, but how important is it for schools to host their own tournaments during this time in the season?
Well, we certainly are fortunate to live in San Diego and have this great weather and get to play at home. So sleeping in your own bed has a lot of advantages. But bringing these teams in here, the comfort level playing at home is completely different. And I'm sure everyone would agree if they were at their own place, they'd rather play, certain teams. We get to play Oregon and Florida at home. So that's one advantage I'd like to think that we have. We get to keep them home. We get to keep them in school. We don't have to deal with long lines at the airport and the tiring out like travel can do to you in certain regards. So I would host every weekend if we could, but our conference is such that we have to travel a lot. So we need to have that experience as well. And so we host 3 tournaments a year, and certainly it's been a huge advantage for us in that regard.
Oh, Coach, I know you said you don't like to get ahead and look at teams down the road, but I want to talk about one team in particular that is in your conference that you'll see towards the very, very end of the regular part of the season. Colorado State, I just had a chance to watch them, as I hope everybody had a chance to watch them on the Longhorn Network this past week. What are your opinions just right off the bat on Colorado State, and if you did get a chance to watch any of those games yet?
I have not watched them this year, but Jen Fisher's done a great job with that program. They are always a very good hitting team. And I think the games against Colorado State for us always kind of tend to go back and forth. They're high-scoring games, and we know we've got to go a full 7 innings. Nobody's going to let up throughout that game. They have strengthened their pitching staff immensely, so that was a weakness in the past, and I think that they're getting a lot better in that aspect of the game. But absolutely one of the toughest opponents we face in conference. Very, very good program.
Coach, it's been great having you here on the show today. Last question I have for you. We were kind of talking about this a little bit before we came on air. We had a fan question emailed in for Coach Alameda, and for those that did not get a chance yet to listen to this past Monday, Seminole Softball Monday, make sure you go back and listen to Coach Alameda's answer to this. I'm going to throw it out to you, Coach. Give us the one coach currently head coach and the one retired head coach that you have not coached against that you would want to.
That's a really tough question because I've been doing this for 30 years now, and I'm not sure there are too many out there that I haven't coached against. But I did not have the experience of coaching against Sharon Backus at UCLA, and I have the utmost respect for Sharon because of what she did to that program, and what she did to that program is continuing, has continued for many, many years, and will. Her legacy will live on forever. And I think that speaks for itself. And I got to play when Sharon was coaching, but I was not coaching against her. So I would love to sit down with her sometime and just talk softball. But currently I don't know. That's a real tough question. I think Ken Erickson has done a great job with his program, and we're looking at the possibility of going out his direction next year, and I look forward to that. There are so many more good coaches out there now, and the youngsters coming in have a great perspective on the game, and it's much appreciated what everyone has done, the hard work that's being put in, and I respect everyone who does this job because I know what it entails, and you got to love it.
Well, Coach, real quick, because this is your first time on the show, I want to give you a chance to let the listeners hear this, especially if we have any parents out there or, high school players out there listening right now that might be considering coming into your program, what does it take to not only be a member of your softball program, but the SDSU community in general?
Well, I think you better be a blue-collar worker. You better be willing to come in and work hard and do whatever the team needs for you to do to make that happen. And we're seeing that right now because we've got players who come in and expect to play one position and end up somewhere else. And they all come in and think they're going to play, and, maybe their freshman, even sophomore year, they're not playing for a while. So you better be willing to accept your role and keep working hard despite playing time and go out there and show us a great attitude, because that's what's going to make the difference.
Coach, and thanks a lot for coming on the show. I'm very, very much looking forward to seeing your team play. I'll be out at the Judy Garment Classic. I know it's going to be a great time out there in Fullerton. As far as I've heard, it always is. So we'll see you in a couple weeks.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.